What is up, action takers? Welcome back to the After Hours Entrepreneur. Today we're joined by Avi Arya. You are absolutely gonna love this conversation. Avi brings the heat. He originally started out as a streetcar racer, turned into hotelier, turned into internet marketing expert. He's got a great business. He's one of the biggest digital entrepreneurs in India. He was actually recommended to me, my boy Rock Team on the team, where he said, Mark, we got to get Avi on the show. And I'm so glad I did. Today, we're covering a micro video strategy that's going to help you actually land clients. If you're watching, if you want to land clients, Avi's going to break down the framework. We're going to talk about storytelling and the importance of doing our research and helping people transform their stories. We're even going to talk about the value of going to movies by yourself, something that I've seen Patrick Bet David does as well. So listen, this is definitely an episode you're want to listen to. Definitely hit the subscribe button right now. And I've also got a special offer for you. We've got a group mastermind program that's growing. I'll put a link below. I'd love to invite you to join this mastermind of action takers and other after hours entrepreneurs. If you're ready to take that side hustle into a main source of income, so you're really going all in on what you love, you definitely want to click the link below and join myself and all the other action takers in the mastermind. Oh yeah, and by the way, Avi, through his DM strategy, his micro video DM strategy, was able to land people like Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, Pat Flynn. Definitely want to listen up. Thanks for subscribing. Let's get into it. Avi Arya, welcome to the After Hours Entrepreneur. How are we doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Avi, it's a pleasure, really an honor. I love what you're doing. And I want to talk, really, if I had to encapsulate your story in one word, it would be transformation, right? It just seems like you're constantly transforming with the world. And I kind of want to, before we get into internet marketing, what you're doing with Internet Moguls and some of your other projects, I kind of want to go back in time. As I was doing my research, I noted that you were just in love with race car driving. You wanted to be a race car driver. And we're always taught to follow our dreams, chase our dreams, but you made the decision to follow your father into hospitality. Tell me a little bit about that. What was it like giving up your dreams to live your father's dreams with him? Tell me about that.
So, Mark, I had no option. I was, as the eldest child in the family, there was an emotional pressure for me to partake in the family's responsibilities. And the family fell through times of crisis. We had to sell the home. We had to sell part of the business. We had to sell the cars. It was a restart for my dad at the age of 45. And so we had no money to pursue dreams. I mean, we didn't even have a car to drive. I mean, let alone going overseas and learning how to drive. So I had big dreams, and we were part of a decent family. In terms of revenue, everything was fine. Money was fine. But everything came crashing down. And as the eldest son, it was just, I was told it's my responsibility. And I was like, yeah, of course, it has to be. So I've always been a family person. And I feel you can't leave your family alone in these times. And everything I learned was from there. My MBA, my PhD, everything happened while working with my dad.
I love that the idea of learning on the job. I learned the best by taking action. And I also agree that being there with family is really important. So if you fast forward a few years, you founded your internet marketing company and you completely rebranded yourself, which is really amazing to be able to rebrand yourself so effectively. Tell me a little bit about that transition. What did your father say when you're like, hey, Dad, I've got Internet Moguls going on. I'll see you later. Tell me a little bit about that.
So what happened was that there was a new phenomenon on the market called the internet in the late 90s. I was one of the first in the country. Maybe there were 10 people and we all knew each other. Jumped onto the bandwagon. We were not like the crypto guys today who know what's going to happen. We had no idea. It was a shot in the dark. It was something called the internet. It was not a gold rush. It was desperate times looking at something that can allow your business to be seen by people around the world. It was difficult. There was no internet connection. It was super slow. When I told people that I have a company called Internet Moguls, they thought I'm selling an internet lease line. So it was not easy, but it was not difficult because I was not trying to get somewhere. I was just trying to get by. My dad had a 27-room place. We wanted those 27 rooms to be filled up by foreigners from all over the world. For foreigners to know of a small 27-room boutique guest house in Delhi, they needed to We needed the internet. And that's how I came across the internet, built a website, nothing happened, 2 years of back and forth, and then things started doing well. Then I created 100 plus websites, 98 of them flopped. 2 of them did extremely well. So one, my dad's hotel started doing extremely well. We built 3 hotels back to back in the next 5 years based on that success. We built an online travel company. And then finally, by 2008-9, I started getting known on the circuit. Companies like TripAdvisor called me, invited me to speak on stage to hundreds of people and share my journey. And I'm like, hey, people want to share. People are all saying, can you do this for us? And I'm like, no, I can't do this for you. I do this for a family business. I don't know how to do it for others. People are like, open consulting. And how do you do consulting? How do I charge? What's in there? How do I send you an invoice? I've done nothing. Streetcar racing, dreams, school, college, straight to my dad's business. I have no formal understanding of how I'm going to build this for you. But then things happened one after the other. And I was like, I need to do something. Internet Moguls was born out of sheer confidence and no business plan. And with a 4-member team, no funding, no co-founders, I said, Dad, I need to do it. And my dad's like, yeah, sure, let's start. My dad always supported me for everything. He does till date. Even in the morning, I had a call with him. Everything I do, he's like, let's do it. So I started doing Internet Moguls. My first client was $1,000 a month. My next client was $11,000 a month. There was no looking back.
And I think that that's probably pretty rare to be able to lock those types of accounts in. But I guess leveraging your experience with the hotel business and building up your reputation there, you probably had some connections, definitely helps. One of the things I also think about, right, is, and most people may or may not know this, India actually has the 6th largest GDP in the world, and it's growing 8.4% year over year. I mean, there's some predictions that it might be one of the world leaders here, if not the world leader over the next decade, which is interesting. But historically, I feel like when we think of the Indian workforce, we're thinking of cheap labor, not professional, don't have a hard time really understanding, what these people are about. Like, was that a challenge for you as you started building up this Internet Moguls? And if so, how did you overcome that challenge?
So I'll just take the first question, first part first. So I didn't have any hotel connections. I had a small 27-room guest house. We built 2 more small guest houses, 25, 30 rooms each. So I was still a very small and medium-sized business owner with very good cash flows and very good profitability. I had no idea of how the market works. The reason that I got these first two big clients, and it is rare, I agree, but I still owe it back to the confidence that you have when you're 25, 26, 27, and the love and support of my parents. Not the money, but the love and support of my parents, which I still have till date. They always brainwashed me into believing that I was special. And I started believing that. And that always translated in every single meeting. Obviously, when I went into a meeting, when I wanted the 11,000, when I got the $1,000 a month client in 2009, it was a big deal. Agencies still don't get $1,000 a month clients. But I realized that everything is going to go into salaries. So I needed a big client. So I went after a hotel. I said, I have to give 10 times to the hotel of what I am charging. I wanted to charge $10,000. So I said, which hotel can get $40,000 from my service? How many room nights can I give to them? How many more restaurant customers can I give? Can I give them at least 2 weddings a month? Because that will be 50, 60, 100,000 in itself. Now that won't happen with one hotel. So I went after a chain of properties which had 10 hotels. So I gave them a plan that I'll give you $4,000 a month per hotel, which was less than $400 a month for one hotel. So it was very easy to do. So I went to the head of the chain, and that's how I said, I'll give you this much and you give me 10% in return. That's how we got the 10. Even now, I tell everybody, dig deep, understand the problem that person is facing, research that industry, see where you can add 10 times value, and then even $1 million consulting fees is regular. All the large companies charge it because they have a way of understanding the problem. Number one. Number two, they know where to press so that the customer says, yeah, this is where the pain is. How do you know that? You go to a doctor, and there are 2 types of doctors. There's one doctor who will run you through a series of tests. The other doctor will say, just shut up and let me do what I want. He'll touch you and he says, oh my God, it pains over here. He says, yes, I know it pains over here. He said, how did you know? He said, I do this every day. Now, when he's got your pain point, Then he's like, I'll fix it for you. Your question and your next question is going to be, how much is it going to cost me? Not like I'm going to get the counter proposals, give me a proposal. You want the same doctor who's got your pain point. First is understanding the problem. Second is the pain point. And third is to be able to see, you should be able to give them 10x value. All this takes time, but so does failure. Instead of failing and going to 10 clients and trying to get a client by fluke, spend 2 to 3 months to research a specific industry and then go straight, then use your phone, create a video. My name is Avi Arya, father of 2 girls, 6 dogs, husband to a superwoman, a streetcar racer turned hotelier, now social media marketer, founder of Internet Moguls. I'm going to take the next 3 minutes, Mark, to tell you the research that I put in the last 3 hours to research to understand your hotel. Your hotel has these 3 problems. Your restaurant does very well on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but on the weekends it doesn't do well. Your room nights are doing great, but you're getting 50% of your business from travel agents who are charging you a 40% commission, and you don't get enough banquet bookings. If I get you 1 banquet booking confirmed a month, if I get you 10 extra restaurant covers through my Facebook ad targeting, and through my LinkedIn, if I'm able to get you direct business to your property instead of giving 40% to the travel agent, my calculation shows that you save $40,000 a month. If you want me to run you through the exact calculation, I need 30 minutes of your time. By the end of 30 minutes, I promise you I'll be able to prove to you how you can make extra 40,000 a month in the first 3 months of your engagement with me. At the end of the call, you'll have 2 options, either to work with us or take this business plan and thank me for the rest of your life. Here is the link to the Zoom call. Book that Zoom call with me where you and I can talk and I can run you through the business plan. Thank you very much for giving me 3 minutes of your time. The next 30 minutes that you book with me are going to be super valuable. Thank you for listening. This is Avi Arya. Bye for now. You get your clients. It's not difficult.
And it's that it's a micro video strategy that you've really hopped in on, which I think differentiates you, because quite frankly, Ari, most of the pitches I get are just like a wall of text with a couple links to a website. And it's like, it's completely drowned out. So I really like that idea of being unique. The other thing I think that you point out here, Avi, which is interesting. I've been reading this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it's chapter number 3. He's talking about when you're pitching, when you're trying to find a client, people tend to talk about themselves and what's in it for them. But what I like what you did here is you identified the pain point. You I guess figured out your target market, and then you came about what's in it for them, right? Which is really important. The challenge here, I think, though, is, you're blessed with having parents that gave you the confidence. But I think that a lot of people, when we're reaching out to pitch, we're thinking like, there's no way I'm going to land this client. They're out of my league. They're out of my range. So, I mean, do you just put that on sheer confidence? Like, how do you arrive to the point where you're confident enough to actually give them the pitch, show them the value, and then get them on the phone? Is there some sort of, give me the secret, Ari, I need to know.
Sure. So that's a very, very, very good question. So the first thing that I like, so it's the heart and the mind, right? So for the first 40 years of my life, I'm 45, I was all heart. And then I realized that I need to put the mind to work as well, and that's going to be a powerful combination. So all heart, like I said, I'm my mother's child, empathetic, naturally empathetic. Thank you, God. Thank you to my parents by nature. So I automatically will feel for you and your pain. And so that shows in my communication, number 1. But when I started hanging out with serious marketers, I met GaryVee, I met Cardone, I met Pat Flynn, I met Stu McLaren, I met Pat David, I met everyone. And what I understood was that it's the power of the mind and the heart both. What I started understanding was that I need to make a connection with that person, which is real. So, Mark, are you fond of, is Florida one of your favorite places?
Yeah, I love Florida. Beautiful place to live.
Or LA, because I see palm trees behind you, and I dream of palm trees sometimes. I dream of palm trees because I'm in Vancouver when it's minus 15. I think everybody dreams of palm trees, but I dream of palm trees. So I'll now make it a point in every conversation to do something that creates a personal bond with you. So in the beginning of my conversation, either I go to LinkedIn or I go to Facebook or wherever, when I'm looking at a CEO of a company to work with, I will see what are the problems, challenges that they have. and then address that first, because that is playing first in his mind. It's again like the doctor saying, let me hold your pain point. So instead, I go on LinkedIn and I'll say, hey Mark, I saw that you got a new contract from the Marriott hotels, congratulations. And I see on your team, I went to your profile and I saw you have only 3 people. How are you going to handle the Marriott contract? So I know that you will need help. So, I'm like, congratulations on the Marriott contract. I'm a freelancer. I'm a copywriter. I'm a graphic designer. I'm this, I'm that. And I feel these are the 3 graphics that I got for you to be able to showcase to Marriott. I think it looks very good on the launch post for your social media. You've won the contract. All the best. I would love to work with you. Allow me to send you 15 days of content for free. And when your client goes completely crazy and says, who did this? You say your team member, because I'm very sure by the first 15 days, by then I'll be part of your team. So I have to make it contextual and relevant, and then everybody wants to talk. John Travolta, Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson. I mean, there is nobody on the planet who does not have a current challenge right now. The money, the fame, everything doesn't get rid of that. They want something. Maybe The Rock wants to transport his gym everywhere, and because of COVID, his airline is not as, I don't know. So find out the problem and see if you can solve it. And then they will want to talk to you. Now, how do you get in touch with all these people? Either I send them micro videos through Instagram DMs, or I look at the profile of the 5, 7, 8, 10, 15 people who are surrounding them, and I'll send every one of them a video. There is no way you cannot get in touch with people in 2022. And people respond saying, you know what? I love the effort that you put in to create something so personalized. Right now, we're not interested, but hey, congratulations. You feel good. Nobody, at least they responded. But 20% of the deals are guaranteed to confirm. Keeping in mind that your service has to be good at the end of the day as well. But outreach through micro videos, a game changer. What's in it for them? Make it contextual. Go to LinkedIn, Facebook, see what they've done, what is the current problem, and then fit yourself into the problem. I went to Grant Cardone's conference 2-3 years ago. Kevin Hart was there, John Travolta was there, Mayweather, the boxer, was there, Usher was there. And out of all the things that they said, one thing that they said in common was, we reach out to people to create deals. If you want a good deal in life, it's not going to come to you. The deal that comes to you is the deal that's coming to everybody, and you can, if you grab it, you think you're lucky. No, a good deal has to be manufactured by you. So doesn't matter what kind of paid ads, social media, whatever you're doing. And I love ads, and I think people come. I do webinars, all of that. But reach out to a person, create your own deals, design your own deals. That's how big deals happen.
Well, you definitely don't win anything sitting on the sideline. You got to get in the game. And I think a lot of people are afraid to hit the record button because they're afraid they're going to be embarrassed or someone's not going to like it, or they're going to be made fun of. But, frankly, that might be true the first or second time that you record the videos. But after the 50th, the 100th video, all of a sudden they start to hit. One of the things that I like about video, too, is it's infinitely scalable. You can post a video on YouTube for free. I had a video that reached 500,000 people on YouTube. Wow. It cost me $0. It cost me a lot of time to learn how to actually execute on that, right? But it is definitely possible. The other thing, I just want to kind of go just one level deeper, if we could, Avi, onto this micro video strategy, which, by the way, I'll put a link below. Avi has a really good training course to get you involved in this. I'll put a link below to that training course. But Avi, when you're creating these micro videos, are you creating like custom micro videos for every single person you reach out to? Or are you creating kind of like a template of micro video or micro videos to scale it out? Because I could record it once and then send that out to 100 people, and I only recorded it once. Or maybe I record it once and I hire someone, or I ask my sister to DM a bunch of people. How do you actually see that happening? Are you customizing each micro video, or are you creating these templates of micro videos?
So there are 3 types of micro videos. You need to get known, get leads, and get sales. So there are 3. So if I reach out to popular Instagrammers or YouTubers for them to feature me, it's an uphill task. And I say thank you to people like yourselves who give us an opportunity to share our message on channels like yours. But it's an uphill task because, gentlemen like yourselves are hit up by people all the time. So how do I stand out? It has to be a personalized approach. I have a team of people who will reach out to them, send the email on my behalf, but I create every single video. See, because I believe, I know, I don't believe. Believe is something that could be personal to me. I know that the world plays the 90% game, which is not putting the effort. I am 45. I don't have time. I don't want failures. I can have a failure if it's designed by the universe to teach me something. I get it. But I don't want a failure because I was lazy. I want to be able to outwork the 25-year-old guy who's watching this show right now and saying, you know what? Bring it on, brother. Bring it on. That extra effort, 14 hours of, I can't put in 18 hours like I used to when I was 25, but I'll put in focused heart work. I have another hoodie called the Heart Worker. I'll put in heart work and I'll send you a heartfelt.
Heart work. Okay, I like that.
So I'll put in the hard work and it will reach and it will connect and you'll find me on multiple YouTube shows. And I say this openly and say, you know what? If you want to copy this, go ahead and copy it. It is so simple, but put in the work. So it has to be 100% personalized.
Really, really good advice there. It's oftentimes those small edges that really work. And I think that people are getting hip. They're getting smart to these kind of like spam emails, the spam videos, the spam messages. So I agree that the customization could really help you, especially someone who's really passionate about podcasting. A little bit of personalization can really convert someone into a super fan, to use a term by Pat Flynn, that the super fans are the ones that really drive your business, your online presence.
Mark, sorry, I just wanted to add this here. So me and my daughters during the pandemic interviewed 60 people. From Patrick, Pat David to everybody. We sent personalized micro videos to 250 people. 60 people said yes. My book is out for release any day now. It is the only book on the planet which has interviews from all of these stalwarts. And most of them have given a recommendation for the book at the back. How did that happen? It's everybody said, hey, I like the effort. Nobody's ever done this. Amazing. Let's do it. We kept on we still got only 25% of the yeses. But it's not because people said no to us. Most of the people didn't even open that email or see that DM or it reached somebody. It didn't reach them. Whoever it reached said, great effort. So I'm like, that's how you can do anything. You can reach out to the president because he might have a problem that you can solve. And if you can reach out to him through a personalized video, that video has the power to reach people. And so it's all about personalization, deep heart work.
Yeah, very well said. And I think that message really resonates with me, Avi, because I grew up before the internet, right? People were reading newspapers and stuff like that, you know. Now you have the power to reach anybody across the world anytime. I mean, you just have to find that way to get through the noise. And this micro video strategy it's really powerful. I really like what you've laid out. Again, I'll put a link below to that course because I think that could be really beneficial for anyone that's trying to reach. And quite frankly, a 25% conversion on people like Gary Vaynerchuk and Patrick Bet David is a pretty freaking good conversion ratio.
Exactly.
You know, pretty freaking good. I actually have a question about Patrick Bet David because I'm a big fan of Valuetainment and what he does over there.
He's amazing.
I recognize, Avi, that you like to watch movies in movie theaters by yourself. He likes to do the same thing. And growing up, that was a faux pas. It's like, you go to movies by yourself. But now I'm seeing that like big entrepreneurs are doing this. What's with going to movies by yourself? What's up with that?
I've always gone for movies by myself, but I only had the guts to talk about it only about 10 years ago. You know, he's like, hey, he's a loser. He's got no other friend. But I'm like, dude, I love me. You have to love yourself. You have to love your own company. You have to be like, we are going for a movie. Like, you know, I'm not saying have a split personality of going with yourself for a movie, but you're going for yourself for the movie and you're having fun. So I take my protein, chicken rolls with me. I take them in my bag and I'll take a nice warm, my doctors told me I have to have lots of water. I don't have enough water. So I take lots of water. So like I'm on a health trip and I'm watching a movie. And for me, a movie is a couple of things. A, you get lost in other people's stories and you forget about your story for some time. So it's like meditation. You quieten the mind. And the second thing is a movie for me, because I went to New York Film Academy to study film direction. I wanted to do something to do with the movies. So movies for me, like today, if I have to rebrand myself, it's going to be as somebody who is a movie critic or something to do with movies. It has to be movies because it allows a mere mortal to see another mere mortal present himself on the big screen as a superhero and go back with that belief that if he can do it, I can do it too.
Really powerful. And the other thing about movies is story. And frankly, I think in the digital marketing world that we've got right now, it's like people forgot the power of stories. It's about conversions and KPIs and CAC and your funnel convert. Really what it's about is telling a story, empathetically telling a story that makes somebody want to convert. They want to be part of the story,
exactly.
Right? I mean,
I love that. Yeah. I love the way you put it. They want to be part of the story. There's no conversion. It happens automatically then. I think that's very well said.
Yeah. I got to credit Donald Miller and his book Story Brand. Great book by Donald Miller.
Oh my God, that gentleman! I just pre-ordered his new book, the one with the blue cover, The Hero or something. That guy is a legend. I mean, I am so jealous of the story framework that he created. Like, how can a human being do something, make it so systematic for everybody to get success? Like, if there's a coach or a trainer or any entrepreneur listening out there, the story work framework by Donald Miller is something which can make any business successful. I mean, it's hats off to the man's hard work.
Yeah, really smart and really practical. I really like reading books where I can walk away and I'm like, okay, I can apply this in my real life, and he's just tremendous. That's definitely a great book. We're running a little short on time here. Avi, I know you got appointments. I know you're rocking it and staying busy over there, but I do have a question about podcasting.
Sure. I see, I have all the time for you. Don't worry. I'm enjoying this. So take your time.
Good deal. I appreciate that. So podcasting, like you said, you started this podcast, the Ask Avi Arya show. You can go to askaviarya.com. What role do you think podcasting plays in this new marketing world? Because again, I don't typically think of podcasting as, like a funnel conversion. It's not a Facebook ad or whatever. How important do you think podcasts are as we move into the next 5-10 years of social media and Web3 and Web2?
Mark, I think podcasts were always there in different formats. Now it's the social podcasting where everybody can start their own. So why I like audio is because human beings have a problem with thinking. Human beings have a problem with concentration. I think it was Eckhart Tolle or it was Sadhguru, one of the spiritual leaders, who said, if you can sit for a minute and focus, your life is solved. If you can just look at a rose and actually look at a rose, which means if you can 100% be present and understand where you are, what you're doing, everything else automatically. The thing is, we're in the past or the future, right? So human beings have a challenge with focus. But the thing is, I still need information. I still need motivation. I still need something to push me to take me to the next level. So I will sit down and watch a GaryVee video. And if it's not somebody who's as animated as GaryVee, I may get lost. GaryVee knows how to hold an audience. And sometimes even he's not able to get those many views or not. So what do I do, or a regular person? That's where podcasts come in. That the person doesn't need 100% focus. He can be cleaning his room, going to the gym, going for a walk, walking his dog, and still get your information in his head. That's what I love about podcasts, that it allows the lazy human brain to still get a piece of you.
Well, I can say that personally, when I'm consuming podcasts, it's like you said, I'm in the car, I'm driving, or I'm going for a jog, or I'm working out, which I also think it's important because most people don't like seeing ads. They don't like being marketed to. And I think most human beings now, we're kind of hip to the game. Like, we know when you're rolling an ad at us, right? That's why, but if that's why it's really fascinating to me. If you can have a long form conversation like Joe Rogan, who's basically the new media, right? If you can hold someone's attention, it gives you the ability to tell the story, bring people into your story, like we were talking about. And I just see a huge opportunity there that I think is being missed, especially when you can run a podcast for free on YouTube or on Anchor or something along those lines. Yeah. Yeah, really powerful. I'm also curious, Avi, again, as we look at your story, like you were very early in the internet game, the internet marketing game. We're seeing Web3 come out now. People are talking about the metaverse. They're talking about NFTs. We're talking about cryptocurrency. We're talking about blockchain. I'm just wondering, is there any trend that's on the come up now that you're like, I need to pay attention to this. I'm excited about it. Anything in particular?
You know what? The internet happened to me by accident. I can take no credit for all the fortunes that we made, everything that happened. A brand called Avi Arya was created. It happened by accident. My first book was The Accidental First Mover. I was not somebody who was sharp and like, you know what, I saw this coming and I grabbed it. No, it just happened. I just happened to be there. But I worked very hard because I knew I had only the first 5 years, because then everybody else comes in. Now, and there was no gold rush as such. People didn't even know it's going to be gold. Now people know the decentral land, you can buy something online and all of that. So there is an opportunity. I, for one, am not involved in anything on the crypto space yet. I'm still, on the periphery, watching YouTube channels, trying to understand what it is. But I know one thing for a fact. I know I'm 45 years old. I know the level of success that I can get at. I know there is a 1% chance for 1% people to become billionaires by becoming first movers in this world. But I know for a fact that there's a chance for 50% people in the rest of the world to become multimillionaires by just doing micro videos and sending personalized opportunity-based videos to people and getting queries from them and then running whatever business you are. So I believe, my personal belief, you don't need to necessarily be looking at at what's happening next, because what's happening right now is still not played by 90% of the people. There is a crowd that is and they all mask themselves as competition, but they're not even playing the game. They're just there. So there's enough to win in the existing world is my take on everything.
I mean, and this is sound advice. I'm very fascinated with the space, but one of the things that kind of scares me is there's a huge amount of hype. There's a huge amount of FOMO, fear of missing out. Like people are like, oh, I didn't invest in Facebook. This is my opportunity. I'll invest in this JPEG or something. So it's interesting. I'm very much paying attention. I'm very fascinated by these new technologies, but I agree that doubling down on what you know works, that is really important. I was listening to Chris Do the other day, from the future. And he's talking about this. He said, become a master at what you do, become a master at that. And then that ends up broadening out into other opportunities. And that's a mistake that I've made many times, trying to solve problems for everyone. So I think that's, really
I talk a lot about the micro niche. Find a niche, dig deeper, find a sub niche, and then dig. And then that's where it gets tiring. Dig even deeper, find a micro niche, make a small space for yourself. I am a digital marketer who helps Army veterans to start businesses to make $5,000 a month. That's it. So I'm into digital marketing and I'm working with Army veterans and I'm doing something to help them run podcasts and make only $5,000 a month. That's it. That's what you're doing. Yes. But you can have 100 paying clients a month who will give you $1,000 every month. And you can have a $100,000 a month business, a million a year in revenue, 500,000 you get to take home. How many people ever take home 500,000? So a micro niche is where I think everybody should focus on.
Really, really, really good stuff. And Avi, I can't thank you enough for being on the show. I got to say, I'm definitely excited about what India is doing. Again, one of my lead editors on my team is from India. I've been working with him for years. And I'm excited that the GDP is happening. I was reading a stat that somewhere around 75% of Indians are self-employed. That is crazy. That's a crazy number. The GDP is growing. We talked about a lot of great topics today. I'm going to have links for everything below. But I could tell you this micro video strategy that you've laid out and actually laid out kind of the basis, the framework, Avi. I know it works. I've used some of these strategies before, and I appreciate you putting it out there because I could tell it's going to change a lot of lives. So I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you as well. Everything, like I said, for me, it's never about the 30-minute interview. It's about the relationship forever. So at any given point today, tomorrow, later in the future, if I can be of service or help, send me an email. I'll be the first person to respond back and say yes to whatever you have in mind.
Respect. You too. Same back to you, Avi. Stay warm, and thanks for joining us here on the After Hours Entrepreneur.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks for hitting subscribe. Thanks for listening to today's episode. Now it's up to you. Go take the action. Take these strategies that we learned today and go take the action. It's not enough just to listen up. You got to take the action. I will see you in the group mastermind. You deserve it. Do it for you. Catch you next time here on the After Hours Entrepreneur. Peace.